Is there anything, is there anything I could say to convince somebody who has no interest at all in this, like my brother? I would say stop for a second and just realize that everything you do, everything you think, you feel, you believe, is all designed for one thing. There's only one goal that you seek, that the self seeks in life, and that is to be relieved of itself. The self seeks its end. In a way, life seeks death, right? I don't want to cloak it in that dark language, but your self, your thinking self, seeks relief of itself. It seeks an end to itself. And so it's hard to grasp until you start to spend time looking into it. Take something that everybody likes, sex as an example. And if you look at what sex is really a psychedelic experience. It's an altered state of consciousness, and it is one that is popular, and so a lot of people can relate to it. But what happens in sex, if you realize, is that, beyond the romantic notions of two become one and the act of creation and all that, whatever, I guess, maybe religious angles it has even actually, it's just literally, it's the merging into oneness, number one. And number two is that internally, of course, you realize you're so awestruck in the moment, you're so present that you have ceased to exist. In essence, the thinking mind, the self, the ego has ceased to exist. You have become one with the flow of life. And of course, the ultimate pinnacle there, orgasm. I mean, what do people say? Oh my God, it's like a psychedelic transcendent experience for many people. So you begin to realize, well, does that apply everywhere else also? And if you look at everything you do, you realize it all comes down to the self seeks its end, right? In a sense, this is the paradox of duality. That hot, what's the purpose of hot? Hot seeks cold. There is no purpose for hot. From there you begin to wonder, well then how can I manifest that more? How can I actually, in essence, find that peace, that joy that I am seeking, right? Because that's really what happens when the self ceases to be, when the thinking mind is finally relieved of itself. What naturally comes up is this sense of peace and joy and love, actually, and not even a conditional love. We're talking about the kind of love that is just the love of that oneness. In essence, it's a sense, well, back to sex, of shared oneness, right? Shared being, because what is oneness but the experience of shared being?